You ever have that feeling you're just stuck and you have no idea why? Well, what if I told you the answer isn't actually inside your head, but all around you? Sometimes the fastest way to change your mind is to change your space.
Seriously, just take a quick look around you right now. Your desk, your room, even your phone's home screen. What's the vibe? Is it calm or is it chaos? Because whether you realize it or not, that space is having a constant conversation with your brain.
And that right there is the heart of what we're talking about today. The clutter you've learned to ignore, the people you interact with, the notifications that are always popping up, all of it is quietly programming you, shaping your thoughts and habits every single day. So let's dive in.
All right, first up, let's pull back the curtain on the hidden psychology of all this. See, your brain is like a super scanner. It's constantly picking up cues from the world around it. And this leads to a pretty fascinating psychological principle.
It's called contextual priming. Now, that sounds fancy, but all it means is that the stuff in your environment, the objects, the colors, even the sounds, is pushing little buttons in your brain, triggering feelings and thoughts without you even consciously noticing.
And here's where it gets really concrete. Research from Princeton actually found that visual clutter literally competes for your attention, overwhelming your brain. So a chaotic space doesn't just feel chaotic, it creates a chaotic mind. It's the reason a messy desk makes it so hard to focus, and why a clear space just lets you think.
But it's not just about physical stuff. Your emotional environment is just as powerful, if not more so. We've got emotional contagion, where we just soak up the moods of the people around us. And our brains create space associations, right? Is your bedroom a place for rest, or is it where you stress about work emails? In the end, your environment is basically a mirror, reflecting your internal state right back at you.
So let me just ask you this. Take a second and really think about it. What parts of your environment, your room, your social feeds, your routines, feel like they belong to an old version of you? And then, what would the person you're becoming choose to be surrounded by instead?
Now, let's get into what happens when your environment and your goals are out of sync. Because this misalignment, it has a very real, very hidden cost.
When you're trying so hard to grow and evolve, but your surroundings are screaming stay the same, it creates this massive internal resistance. It's why you feel stuck. It's not that you're lazy, it's that your brain is getting 1,000 mixed signals every day.
Just think about the subtle messages being sent all the time. A cluttered room isn't just messy. It's a constant, quiet whisper to your subconscious that says, things are out of your control. And over time, that really erodes your sense of power.
It's the exact same thing with our social circles. Being around people who are constantly draining or critical sends that toxic little message. You have to be smaller to fit in. Don't rock the boat. And that's a direct hit to your self-worth.
And what about a chaotic schedule? That lack of structure isn't freedom, it's just chaos. A disorganized routine is constantly screaming in your ear that you are perpetually behind and you can never, ever catch up.
So the bottom line is this. The cumulative cost is living in a constant, low-grade state of tension. Too many notifications, too many unfinished tasks, too many draining conversations. It keeps your nervous system on high alert, and you can never truly deeply rest.
Okay, enough for the problem. Let's talk about the solution. How can we start intentionally redesigning our environment so that it actually supports our growth? Let's get into the toolkit. All right, here's our game plan. 6 simple but powerful steps to get your environment working for you. We've got micro declutter, curate your circle, design reset cues, simplify your digital life, create renewal rituals, and anchor in gratitude. Let's dig into a couple of the most powerful ones.
So let's start with micro decluttering. The key word here is micro. I'm not asking you to overhaul your entire house. Just pick one small zone. Your desk, your nightstand, your phone screen. This isn't really about cleaning, you see. It's about psychology. It's about rewiring your brain's sense of control. You're actively telling yourself, I am creating space for clarity.
Next up, and this one is huge, curate your circle. I want you to start thinking of your peace and your energy like their currency, because they are. So who in your life is making deposits and who's just making withdrawals? It's okay to set quiet boundaries. You have to protect your peace.
And we absolutely have to talk about our digital space. Your phone is basically your second home. It's your mental home. So think about it. Would you let someone into your house who just makes you feel bad about yourself? Of course not. So unfollow the accounts that bring you down. Turn off the notifications that hijack your focus. Make your feed an inspiring vision board,
not a draining comparison trap. Okay, so I know you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but where on earth do I even begin? So let's talk about your very first step, something you can do the second this is over.
First off, you got to remember this. Meaningful change does not require a massive, dramatic overhaul. You don't need to move or get a new job to get started. The most powerful transformations always begin with the smallest, most intentional actions.
So I want you to start small. I mean, incredibly small. Start with one drawer, just one that's been bugging you. Set one small boundary with one person who drains your energy. Make one tiny shift in your morning routine. That's it. That's your starting point.
Because here's the beautiful truth in all of this. When your external world, your physical space, your social circle, your digital life, when that starts to align with the person you want to become, your internal world, it just has no choice but to follow. You're paving the way for it.
So I'll leave you with this one simple question. What is the one tiny, manageable shift you can make today to create just a little more space for clarity, for peace, and for growth? Your future self is already thanking you for it.